10th place at Ironman Mont Tremblant in the women's professional field this past weekend. And to say I am proud of a race would be a bit of an understatement. Tremblant, so today's Saturday, races tomorrow, and we are out doing some bike recon. One of the things that I've realized lately I've always done races that I've already known, but this year I've done races that I don't know, and I haven't done bike recon, which is extremely unprofessional and not smart, because then you have no idea what you're getting into, and it's been very obvious in races that I haven't, because things have surprised me. So we're going to take the time, we're going to drive the course. I have my bike in the back, and we're going to probably have me hop out and do some rides out there in kind of some places. The roads are a little bit wet because it rained this morning, and our directions for the bike course are not great, so hopefully we don't get lost.
They're also all in French.
And they're all in French, which is not our first language, or any of our language, or second or third. We can say thank you and hello, and that's the extent of our French. But yeah, that's what we're gonna go do. Should be fun. Yes, that makes sense.
Podium, but I think you're going to see probably an American on the podium, and you're going to probably see a Brit on the podium too. That's probably
no. It'd be past that.
Who's going to be the first?
So because 80K is the turnaround, and then 170K is the turnaround. So we passed 90K at the transition area. So this is going to be like 75K and
3 blinks means
100.
Yes.
2 blinks means Kayla.
75K is still around 55.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking miles. Sorry,
Yeah.
I thought you were talking Ks.
Because everything I'm going to think
Every
of
time
is
we take
miles.
croissant, when you take croissant, that's when we know you're in danger, John.
Cuts laughing in the background.
Okay, so we're out here at the turnaround. That's where we're going to turn around, head back there. I'm going to do a little kind of ride here. I'm also going to attempt something that I said on the podcast I would never do, and that is wear my bottle down my front, because my bike only has 2, and I am just someone that needs, right? I can't ride 60 miles, and I wish I could, but around 3 hours, less than that, and I need a lot of carbs. And I just am a little afraid if I only use the 2, I'm going to run out of carbohydrates and get my blood sugar crashes that I get. So I don't know. I haven't quite decided. It's going to be a game time decision, but we're going to try it out today. Place at Ironman Mont Tremblant in the women's professional field this past weekend. And to say I am proud of a race would be a bit of an understatement.
Se réchauffer, c'est à votre temps de vous réchauffer. On approche le temps fatidique du décompte. We're getting ready for the final countdown. 1 minute avant le départ. 1 minute before the start.
So this past weekend was Ironman Mont Tremblant. I took 10th place in the professional women's field with a time of 10:04. So, you know, not necessarily actually one of even my best times in reality, but it's been a while since I've executed a full distance Ironman to the point where I felt like I executed every piece. And this weekend, I actually felt like I did that. So I walked away from this race extremely proud of it. Been really trying all year to break into the top 10 in the professional field. As you know, you could say 10th place doesn't seem as fancy even as 5th, 6th, or 7th, or 8th, but something about breaking into the top 10 for me really would have solidified the fact that I can do this and that I can do what it is kind of that I've set out to do. I have had a lot of imposter syndrome throughout this whole year where I just kind of have felt like I didn't necessarily deserve to be there. I wasn't performing to the standards that I set for myself. In all honesty, I don't even know that I performed to those standards this past weekend, just based off of what I know that I'm capable of and what I've done in the past. But I actually felt like I competed and I fought for it, and I because of that, I am really, really proud of the day. So let's just take a step back here, walk you through kind of the day a little bit. It turned the whole couple days leading into it, it poured rain every day, and thankfully though, the race morning was a beautiful morning, and whole race day turned out to be simply perfect from a weather standpoint. We had probably, I don't even know, 75, 80 degrees, hardly any wind, minimal clouds, but not like too crazy hot, and just absolutely kind of a perfect day. So swim went okay. I kind of didn't get off the line super well and found some feet pretty quickly in the day, but was not able to hang on to them. One of these days I'll figure out how to hang on to the group. And so I kind of got dropped, and I was able to keep them in sight. They were maybe anywhere from 30.
And here we are, more athletes, and this is Kayla Bowker from Spokane, Washington. Thank you, Claudia.
30 to 60 seconds ahead of me. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not very good at judging that distance in that time frame. So, which was kind of nice. So, yeah, not my best swim. Very mediocre, very standard, I guess, for how I've been swimming. And got off onto the bike and kind of just started to settle in. I have been having this like issue where in training, not in training, but in racing, where I admit this probably has a lot to do with this imposter syndrome that I've talked about, where I really have got out, like went really hard, like I have to make up all this time because I'm too far back in the swim, and I have to make up all the time right then and there, and so I go out too hard, I go out too fast, and I blow up. I burn through all my calories really quickly, and I have a tendency to kind of blow up. So I really focus this whole day on staying within my zone, and that's kind of what I told myself all day long. Stay within your zone, don't overthink things, you don't have to make up all the time right now, it's a long day, do your own race, and from there you can, you'll never know what's going to happen. And that was a really powerful thing for me to kind of focus on throughout the entire day, because it allowed me to stay very present and very grounded. And this became really useful because around mile 30, all of a sudden I had some really bad stomach issues on the bike, and I've never...
Special needs straight ahead, 15th, special needs.
Stomach issues.
Yeah? Get food in.
Never had that issue on the bike. I've had it on the run, never had it on the bike. I ended up having to use a porta potty, and I spent about 3 minutes in there, and so kind of lost a fair amount of time. I lost contact with the girl that I was trying to kind of keep in my sights, and so again, I got out of the porta potty, and my first thought was, you have to make up all this time, you have to get going, you have to push really hard, you got to catch up. And I just had to take a deep breath and remind myself again, I'm only at mile like 35 on the bike. I have lots of time, lots of space. This is a challenging course. You never know what's going to happen. Stay within your zone. And so I just really kind of focused in that space. I recaught some of the girls that I had passed, and again, just really focused on repeating over and over to myself, stay within your zone, stay within your zone, stay within your zone. The bike went really great, actually. I am still really uncertain where all my power has gone on the bike. Prior to having kids, like I was holding like 215 watts on a regular basis, and that was not the case. And it's a little bit frustrating because I know that I need to be able to hold higher watts and hold more, and I don't know where that power has gone, to truth be told. So I'm working on, that's a piece I'm gonna have to figure out, because in order for me to keep up with these women that I want to keep up with, I need to increase I have to put out more power. It's just the way that it is. I'm holding fairly good speed. I have really great aero position on the bike, I feel like, but I'm not putting out enough power to actually be fast. And while you don't necessarily have to put out the most power, like you don't have to be the most powerful person out there to still be fast, but you need to be putting out more than I'm putting out right now. So, but I just kind of just focused on myself, and again, stayed really, tried to stay within my own zone and my own space. Last 12 miles of that Ironman Tremblant course are crazy hard, and so you do this whole loop. It's a 2-loop course, and you do this second piece where it's very up and down, a little more technical, very fun and very beautiful, but very challenging. I seriously questioned my soul a couple of times. Really intense, like heavy, where you put out some serious power for fairly short amounts of times, kind of in that 12 miles. Very challenging at the end of the day, and at one point I just was like, I just want off this bike, I want off this bike. But came off the bike in 14th place, I believe, and started the run. Was feeling really good on the run for the most part, as good as you can after coming off of 112 miles, and got off the bike. And again, I just really focused really strongly on staying within my zone. I was very concerned about the run, to be honest.
Great job, great job. You're in 11th. You're 6 or 7 minutes out of 9th. But people are slowing down. People are slowing down. I know. People are slowing down though. Yay!
Honest, because I have not been running well. This whole year has not been great from a training standpoint. I've been dealing with some fatigue issues that I can't figure out, some blood sugar crashes, which I think I figured out on the bike, and I haven't been able. I've lost a lot of speed. I am somebody who should be able to run 3:05 for a marathon with not it being that challenging. And that's just not where I'm at right now. And most of my runs, for long runs for these, like I wasn't able to go over 18 miles because I just couldn't physically handle it. And those 18 milers were 750 to 8-10 minute miles, which is way off pace for me. So I knew going into this race that I was going to be putting myself outside of what I had been training at. And I knew that was going to kind of be how this race went, and the run specifically. And so I kind of settled in at about 7:10 to 7:15 pace, and it felt really good. And so I just said, just stay here, just hang here, and just really enjoy and just kind of stay within your own zone and see what happens. If maybe you can pick it up, hopefully you can hang on to it, focus on getting your nutrition in, getting your calories. I took about 30 grams of carbs every about 1.5 to 2 miles, so every other aid station for the most part. And that's all I focused on. And this is a very challenging marathon. Through the first half marathon, I don't even know what time that was at or pace, but I think I had whittled myself into 11th at that time frame, and saw Brandon, and he told me at the time that I was in 10th place, which turns out was probably not correct. And so I kind of was like, okay, I just got to hold really steady right here, and I should be able to potentially catch 1 or 2 more people in front of me. And I got to the next aid station, and I looked behind me, and I'm blanking on her name. Another pro was literally on my heels. I could see her like 20 seconds behind me, if that. And I said, oh my gosh, I'm gonna lose this right now. And I said, no, you need to put a dig in, Kayla. So I put a huge surge in. And this was with 10 miles to go. So we would have been about mile 16. 10 miles to go, I put a huge surge in. And Brandon said he thinks around that time frame I put about 1.5 minutes into her at that time frame, which probably saved my race. If I hadn't have made that decision to put that in, I don't think she was running much better than I was. And so if I hadn't put that surge in, she probably would have caught me and passed me, and who knows what that would have brought. I put a huge surge in, put some time into her, was able to pass the girl who was in 10th, and kind of run myself into 10th place, and I just was like hanging on for dear life. I made the turn to where then you had about 10K, because each lap was about 10K, and so I made the turn. I knew I had 10K to go.
Come on, Kayla! Way to go! Looking awesome! The gal right behind you.
Shattered.
You're good. Keep it up. Finish strong.
Just hanging on every mile. Just 1 more mile, Kayla. 1 more mile. You can do this. 1 foot in front of the other. Shoulders down. Drive those arms. Drive those knees. Just 1 foot in front of the other. You can do this. I was so shattered by the time I got to mile 23 and had 3 miles to go that it was literally hang on for dear life. Pray that you weren't going to cramp up and die. I was taking in water, not cola, but Gatorade, water, and every single aid station just praying that it would, I would kind of hang in there. And I got to mile 25 and was the last mile, and I think that's about where I saw Brandon, and I was just like, I pray to God that this girl's not right behind me, because if she catches me and puts a dig in, I will not be able to go with her. I was so shattered. I was totally done, and just willing my way to the finish line. The last 500 meters were probably the most fun though, because you run through town, and at the time frame, the whole area just did this huge wave for me, and it was so cool and so amazing to be a part of, and that helped to actually get me to the finish line. One of those where I made it to what I believe was the timing mat area, and then I kind of limped myself across and was just so done. It's now Wednesday, and I'm finally maybe feeling a little bit like a human at the moment. I have never gone so deep to the well for a race. And that's what I'm most proud of, I think, for this, because I did race outside of what my training has said I'm kind of capable of right now, which again is frustrating, but also really empowering, because and it reminded me that I am mentally tough, because I've been kind of struggling with the fact of believing if I am or not. And so I really, it reminded me that I can push myself outside of what I've been doing. Does that mean that I need to not fix what I'm doing? No, I definitely need to fix some things. I have a lot of things to work on, but it's a race to be extremely proud of, and a race that I'm really happy about, and just really honored and glad that I got to race there before the race went away. And again, just so proud of myself for getting myself into the top 10 in a full distance Ironman this year, in the professional. I mean, that's a big deal for me, and it kind of gives me the confidence to know that it can only go up from here, right? Like, you break into the top 10 and hopefully we have some momentum going. So thank you to everybody that cheered and supported. It has meant a lot to me. Thank you to my coach Heather, and my husband for coming, for my husband for coming with me, my parents for watching the kids. This was the first race that we did without just the two of us, and that was a bit of a challenge for me. Definitely good for me physically, but definitely mentally a little bit of a challenge. I actually woke up in the morning on Sunday and I didn't even want to race. I wanted to go home. I really missed the kids, and I kind of had to just move past that. That's a piece that I have yet to figure out, because I kind of get to this space where I just want to go home because I miss my kids so much, but it's part of my job. Like, this is what I'm doing. I am a professional triathlete, and I want to get sponsors. I want to support other people. I'm a coach. I want to show other athletes that they can chase these dreams too. And if I'm going to do these, then I have to stand up for myself and say, I can do them, I will do them, and, kind of move forward past those. But coming home was really amazing. My kids are really excited to see my medal, which everybody gets, but to them it was really cool. That's all they really care about. They were just happy to see Mom, and they thought it was really, I got so many hugs and congratulations from them, and I have to remind myself at the end of the day, they believe in me, and that's kind of the important piece. So yeah, that's Ironman Mont Tremblant. Hope you guys enjoyed my little race recap here, and I'm not quite sure what's coming up next for me. Hopefully a couple more races, and yeah, hopefully it brings on a really exciting 2024, as we're kind of starting to wind down with the year. There's not many races left for professionals that I can actually go to / can afford to go to, and so it's the kind of picking and choosing here as the kind of year winds down. So thanks again everybody for all your support. I appreciate you watching, tuning in, and yeah, we'll be back later. Thanks everybody.